think of any stories. So we talked about the infamous leaving Jimmy. We talked.
But you were not.
We didn't talk about
kids.
the trip to Florida, the Disney World trip.
Oh, the first one,
When
1974.
I rode in the van or I rode in the trailer
With
with
Grandpa.
Patsy. You know, I was with Patsy.
You came back with Patsy. What, you went down and went up the lid? You went down and went up the lid, honey.
Yeah, but you guys were.
And we brought you back.
Yeah, but we were running. We stayed at the same campgrounds and
Yes.
everything. Something
But
like that.
you went down with the, in the camper with Uncle Ed.
in St. Petersburg we stayed.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
so long ago.
Well, that was in '74, and the only reason I know that was in the van.
Right.
And that's when the van came.
And we pulled the trailer there. down.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think of any other stories.
And that's when they had a gas rationing thing, or a gas shortage supposedly. And we had to watch that the tank didn't run out. When you're pulling the trailer, the thing drank gas like it was free. But they were good years, honey. It was a good experience.
You don't have any other stories you want to preserve? You don't have the Ann Eula story?
The
About
first,
something you had to do when you were,
oh,
you don't have any
what-
story about what you had to do when you were little?
the first time we took the trailer out to go camping, we went to a campground that was very close. And it was just in Crete or somewhere like that. Well, that one,
Oh,
Jimmy fell off a swing set and dislocated something.
no, we got a concussion.
He got a concussion.
Yeah.
I don't know, what else, oh, we bent the hitch on the trailer. You know,
That
not
trip,
knowing how to drive the damn thing.
Yeah, that was the first trip.
I don't know what the hell else went
Well,
wrong.
what happened when we were there, you kids took off playing around the campground. Wasn't a big campground. And you came running and said, Jimmy fell, Jimmy fell. And we went out, and this huge frame for a swing was very tall, much taller than you would anticipate a swing frame to be. And he had shinnied up and fallen off the top. You know, so we had to come home then. I mean, we didn't even stay, we came home because I didn't know what was gonna happen to him. Another time we went out and Michael got cut. Another time we went out and your father got bitten and got blood poisoning. And at the time I was working for Dr. Arthur Rosenblum, and on Monday, you know, I always had some emergency to do, and finally, he said to me on a Friday, he said, take a stitch kit with you, you know, and whatever. He got to the point where he was terrified of what I was gonna bring back from these camping trips, you know. So, and he all had allergies. Fran had allergies, you had allergies, the twins had asthma that was mechanical, your father had allergies. I mean, it was, when your dad went out for a walk in the woods, I never knew whether he was coming back or whether I would be a widow at that point. I mean, it was not
well, I didn't
fun.
realize I mean, I knew he had the bee thing, and I knew it's gotten worse with time, even at that point you were concerned he was going to get stung.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. At that point, not a respiratory reaction, but I can remember coming home in the car, in the van one day with him, and you kids were all in the back, and he said, what do you think of this? And he moved his left leg, he had shorts on, moved his left leg, and of course here's the streak, the blood poisoning streak, you know. And I'm like, why did you do this? Another time, when we had the trailer out at Woodhaven, I don't remember what happened to you, but I remember having to drag you out of the trailer, put you in the truck, and take you into the hospital.
Oh, I passed out.
You know, so camping was not, camping was done because we didn't have money to do anything else.
When did you stop camping? Because at some point you stopped camping and you started just to go away without us.
Well, that's another story. The first time that we went away without you, we thought you were old enough and mature enough to leave with your aunt down the street. And so we went to the hotel in Maryville that had a theater and that kind of stuff. and called home and everything was fine. And of course, I learned later that you were answering in a closet or in the bathroom, so I wouldn't hear the party going on. But we knew there had been a party when we came home, and the coffee table was broken, and something else was, I can't remember all. But that was the last time we went away alone. After that, you had to go whether you liked it or not.
Right, and you usually had to go under duress.
Well, after that, you made somebody, we all had to stay somewhere. We had to, like, I remember after that, Francis had to stay at the Meads, and I had to stay somewhere else,
Or you had to go with us.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So the moral of this story is,
so that was about my junior year. Camping kind of stopped, and then you got that camping place that was up near Rochelle where Evie lived. You got some kind of,
up in Woodhaven.
Woodhaven,
It was
so that's
American
called
Boy.
Woodhaven?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you get the Woodhaven place?
You don't even remember.
Cause I never
Well, it was
went
when we
there.
had moved downtown, so whenever we moved downtown, which is now 20 years ago.
20 years.
And then how did you not have it anymore? You sold that? You just sold the trailer where it was to whoever?
Yeah, we did. We sold the trailer and the lots.
You just put that you had more than one lot
Yeah, we had one lot.
right next to each other?
Yeah.
So you just put a for sale by owner sign out?
No, we sold it through a woman in the campground who was a campground realtor person. And she sold it. But, I'm
So by
out.
that point, you started to, instead of trying to go away with us to have family, you tried to escape us.
Exactly. Exactly.
But your mind was very active when you were younger, and you were always thinking that one time your mother picked you up when you started working at Fagan Fresh. I don't know why you had to tell that one, because you went to pick her up, I was working somewhere.
I went to pick her up and I had Michael in the car with me, and I was late. I was not on time for when she came out of Papa Fresh.
Fagan
So
Fresh
she
is on
was-
Baker Square.
She was walking down 187th Street. Now, I want you to remember that I had 5 kids. I worked part-time as a nurse. I was involved in all kinds of stuff, okay? So I'm driving the car, and I stop on 187th Street and I pick her up. She gets in the car, furious. "You are late, and you have never worked as hard as I work." Well, I laughed so hard, it's a wonder I didn't crack the car up. I mean, I couldn't help it. I was just hysterical. No, I had never worked as hard as Jerry Ann had worked.
And there I was probably in my purple uniform with white shoes.
I don't remember what
Marching
color it
down the
was,
street.
but I remember. Oh,
And
and
it was purple. It was designed to look like a plum. We had
is
purple-
that what it was?
We
Designed
had
to look
purple
like a-
uniforms with white, yeah, they were all, I don't know, all polyester, but purple with white collars and white stripes and white shoes. That was the uniform.
Mhm. No, okay.
And how old were you at that time?
Then I remember
Well,
the
I started
night-
working there when I was 15, and you guys probably know the story that I wasn't old enough. I was almost 16 when the restaurant opened. So to get my job and be 16, I falsified my documentation to look like I was 16. So I went to the Homewood Public Library and
There
I,
goes your political career right there.
yeah, there goes my political. So I remember having to document, like I whited over my birth certificate and things and put it on the copier, and that's what I presented. So surely the man that interviewed me knew I was lying. But I remember he interviewed me and he hired Karen and me and Mary. Can't remember who else. And he didn't stay there that long, but that was a great experience. The Pop and Fresh was a really good work environment. And then later we got Francis a job there.
Right.
Francis
Mary
worked
Dunn
there.
worked there with you?
Right, Mary Dunn worked there with me,
Mhm.
and I always tell people that was probably the best career experience I ever had, was being a waitress.